Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. Bitcoin is currently trading at 105,050 US dollar. We will look into possible scenarios for the price development of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP and Solana. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. So let's start with Bitcoin. We didn't get the push over 106,460 US dollar, so we couldn't expect another top. We can take the target of the head and shoulders formatation, which we have here, to the old breakout point, because we didn't get the top. Otherwise we would put the target into the retest. So instead, we have already said if we break the 104,900 US dollar to the downside, then it would be negative. Bitcoin already made the first move. We got a 1 hour candle close lower than that, and we got a huge wick to the downside. So Bitcoin is currently showing some weakness. The retest failed and we didn't get a follow through. Otherwise we would drop even more, in my opinion. That's what the chart is going to tell me, but we have the chance getting a breakout soon. We would just try it again. We also had here a fair value gap, so that's why I don't like to trade this. If we break to the downside with a huge wick, then the price is somewhere here, but we have a fair value gap up here. And this fair value gap, as you can see, if we zoom in, I can just put you a box to show you where the fair value gap was. So here it is. So the fair value gap starts from here, down to here. This is the fair value gap, and as you can see, 75% of that fair value gap already got closed, and fair value gaps tend to get closed. So I think if we don't form other fair value gaps and we get a slow breakout to the downside, then we can push to 103,500 US dollar, in my opinion. And afterwards we have to see if we are going to drop afterwards again. Then 102,000 is going to get the next target. But as you can see, we already have here another fair value gap, which is at the price mark of around about 100,000 US dollar for Bitcoin. The target also didn't change. Of the head and shoulders formatation, it's still the 101,400 US dollar. I will put you here a price mark. So let's jump into Ethereum, because Ethereum is a bit more interesting than Bitcoin. So we have said that if we break the 2,590 US dollar to the downside, then we can expect lower prices. We didn't get a candle close. The candle closed perfectly at this support, so this wick meant nothing. Anyway, what I think is, we got another push to the upside. So basically what I have drew here, I can just put it here. And I still expect that we are going to see another low for Ethereum, which is at 2,418 US dollar. So in bright blue, you see still the rising wedge. The target just changed because we made another push to the upside, a new top. So we can count it as third retest. Wasn't perfect, but still it can be the third retest. So basically here are the targets, the length of that rising wedge. We use the mid-range target and the whole target. I can show you that. So the longer one is the spread of that rising wedge on its end. Usually we put it to the breakout point, but if we get a retest, then we put it to the retest point, and afterwards if we get another retest or another top, then to the other top. And the other target is the mid-range target of the rising wedge. We also put it then on the retest point. So I still stick to my analysis. If the 2,590 US dollar breaks to the downside with a nice 1 hour candle close lower than that price mark and a nice retest, if I see that, then I can jump into the trade while we have the retest, and then I have to see how the chart is going to develop. Maybe I can put you here a stop loss order. So If we break the 2,590 US dollar to the downside, this target, I don't want to say it got invalidated. We had here a double top pattern, which didn't break to the downside yet, but we still have a fair value gap lower than that. We also have stop losses lower than that, and we also have liquidations lower than that. So basically I will still stick to the target of the double top pattern, which is the 2,530 US dollar. And this would also break the 2,550 US dollar to the downside. And I think since we still had a rectangle with stop losses lower than this, with liquidations in that area, I think we are going to fish them. And then we have to see if we are going to push for higher prices or if we are going to break out even more. So this is here a make it or break it point, in my opinion. If we look into a bullish scenario for Ethereum, then I would even say it is very close, 2,700 US dollar. If we break it to the upside and get a retest, then Ethereum is even bullish. And we can expect a nice push to the upside. So what about XRP? XRP is one of the only coins which are having a bullish chart pattern, which is this bull flag. So if we break the $2.25 to the upside, then we should target the top here, from here, which is the price mark of $2.28. If we also break it to the upside, $2.31 is going to be my target. And this is also the target of the inverted head and shoulders formatation. This one here. And this would be the length of the head. We already worked off the length of one shoulder with this push to the upside, and still we have the length of the head, which is also directing us to $2.31. So if we break that bull flag to the upside, then I think we have a good chance getting into the target of the head of the inverted head and shoulders formatation, $2.31. If we also break it to the upside, then the next resistance is going to be very interesting, but also dangerous to trade in my opinion, because at the mark of $2.36 we got rejected several times. And if we are close to the $2.36 in that area, then I don't want to get into a long position because we can sell off. But if we break it to the upside as well, then we have a fair value gap over us and also a target of an old rectangle. So if we break the $2.20 to the downside, this red trend line here, then we would invalidate the bull flag and we can expect lower prices for XRP down to $2.12, $2.13 first, and if we also lose it, then we have here a fair value gap between $1.86 to $1.93. I will also put you here 2 price marks. So what about Solana? Solana is currently in a bear flag in my opinion, and you can see it better on the 50 minutes chart, where we have 3 touch points down here and 3 touch points up here. So this one is a valid bear flag. If we break it to the downside, then I would still wait for the 153 US dollar and 90 cents. If we lose it, then the target of the bear flag is going to be the 145 US dollar with a small stop at 149 US dollar. There I also would like to take profits. Afterwards, keep riding the wave down. 145 US dollar. If we also lose the 145 US dollar, then here's going to be the next target, which is the target of the rising wedge, which you can see here in orange. So here's in resistance. Put you here the price mark. That's the 158 US dollar. The thing is that I would even say that if we break the 158 US dollar to the upside, then the bear flag would get invalidated. And then we can fill the fair value gap. And I think we are going to get that. This kind of push. And then we have to see if we are going to form another bearish pattern, or if we break the 163 US dollar to the upside, then I think we have a good chance getting up to 169 US dollar. To be bullish for Solana, where I would say, okay, we can even take out the highs here. I want to see the 169 US dollar breaking to the upside and afterwards getting bullish chart patterns. Because everything which is lower than 169 US dollar is just going to be a correction, and afterwards we can still sell off. The target of 132 US dollar is still ongoing for Solana. We just have to see on the short term how Solana is going to develop, if we can catch some good trades on the way down, or even getting into the fair value gap, close that. I don't want to trade it because it's just a 1.3% fair value gap, and also once we break the $158 to the upside, then we are already in the fair value gap. And then the fair value gap is going to get closed very quick, and we can't trade it because we don't get a very slow breakout with a nice retest. Fair value gaps getting closed very quick. And from there we have to see if we are going to sell off. So I hope that I gave you some valuable information with this update, and we see each other in the SUI, AVAX, HBAR, Dogecoin update, which is the next video. See you.